Okay, now is the last little bit of fractions before you're going to try all of it all mixed together. So this is the last type of fraction, times and divide fractions. So our steps here, the same first step as with plus and minus, okay? Again, we try and get it to be all one term over one term by either factorizing the top and bottom, or if you can't factorize, then you put brackets around it, okay? Then, if you see a division sign in your sum, just like with normal fractions, you're going to tip and time, so you flip it over and change it to a time sign. Then we cross simplify, just like with normal fractions, okay? So if this were normal fractions, if I had, say, 6 over 5 times 15 over 2, then we would cross simplify that. We could say 5 goes into itself once, into 15 3 times. 2 goes into itself once, into 6 3 times. So we'd have 3 over 1 times 3 over 1. And then step 4, you multiply the tops and you multiply the bottoms and simplify. Okay, so it's actually the same steps as with normal fractions, except this first step here, make sure you've got one term over one term by factorizing or putting brackets around it. And then after that, it's the same logic, but a little bit trickier because we've got algebra. Okay. So here's our example, x plus 2 over 4x cubed times blah, blah, blah. You can read it yourself. Okay, now, this is it. First you identified it's times and divide algebraic fractions question. So the first thing I need to do is make sure I have one term over one term for each of my fractions. Okay, so starting with my first fraction, that is 2 terms. I need to make it one term by either factorizing it or just putting brackets around it if I can't factorize. Now, I can't factorize that. So I'm just going to go ahead and put brackets around it. So that becomes x plus 2 in brackets. This denominator is already a single term, so I can leave it. Times x squared minus 4x plus 4. So common factor, aren't any difference of squares. It isn't. It is actually a type A trinomial. And when we factorize that, I'm not going to show you the factorization for that now. You should be able to factorize a type A trinomial. We will get x minus 2, x minus 2 over 2x plus 3. Again, we can't factorize that, so we're just going to put it in brackets. And then our last fraction, x squared minus 4. That's not common factor, it's difference of squares. So we factorize, becomes x plus 2, x minus 2. And at the bottom, 4x squared plus 6x, that is common factor. And our common factor is 2x, eh? 2x, x plus 3. Okay, so step 1, done. Step 2, tip and times. If you see a divide sign, we do have a divide sign, so I need to take this fraction, flip it over, and then change that to a times sign. Okay, sorry, my red is running out here. Okay, so everything else stays the same. X plus 2 over 4x cubed times x minus 2, x minus 2 over 2x plus 3. And now we tip and times this last one, times 2x, x plus 3. We're flipping it over, so the bottom is now on the top, and the top is now going to be on the bottom, x plus 2, x minus 2. Okay, step 2, done. Now step 3, this is the fun step. I love this. Then everything gets nice and neat. Okay, so we cross simplify. So we can simplify any top with any bottom. It doesn't have to be the whole top. It can be just part of the top. But note, this only works across a times sign. So before you even want to cross simplify, first check, do I have times signs? If you do, then you can cross simplify. Also, you can only cross simplify once you've done this first step. Okay, you cannot, for example, if I had x plus 3 over 2 times, 4 over x, please don't go and say x. No. You have to turn this into one term, and then to cross simplify this, we have to cross simplify it with an x plus 3 in brackets, which I don't have, so we couldn't cross simplify here. Or we could with the 2 and the 4, but not with that x. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cross simplify. An entire bracket with an entire bracket that is identical. Okay, so any top with any bottom. I've got an x plus 2 here, and I've got an x plus 2 there. Those cancel. Okay, let's move on. X minus 2. Have I got an x minus 2 at the bottom? I do. That top with that bottom, the entire bracket. Next one, x minus 2. There's no more x minus 2's at the bottom to cancel with, so that has to stay. Let's move to this one, 2x plus 3 at the bottom. Do I have a 2x plus 3 at the top? Ah, no, I don't. I should though. Whoopsie guys, I factorized this wrong. When I took 2x out of here, I'm not left with just x, I'm left with 2x, hey? So this should be a 2x plus 3 at the top. Sorry about that. Okay, so I do have something to cancel it with. Cancel that, cancel just the bracket. So I always like to start with my brackets first, then I move on to my numbers. Okay, so I've got a 4 over here at the bottom. Do I have anything at the top I can cancel with it? I do, that 2 over there. Okay, and when I say 2 goes into itself once, 2 goes into 4 twice. Then I move on to my letters. My only letters are this x and this x cubed. And x can go into x cubed. So we cancel that x, and we cancel one of these 3 x's, so we're left with x squared. So when we rewrite these fractions a bit neater, I think I might need to move you down here. Sorry. Whoopsie. Okay, when we rewrite these fractions a bit neater, we're going to have 1 at the top. If everything is cancelled out, it means there's a 1 there. Okay, so 1 at the top over 2x squared at the bottom times x minus 2 at the top over 1 at the bottom times everything at the top is gone and everything at the bottom is gone. 1 over 1. Okay. Then the last step, you can't see it anymore, but step 4 is you multiply the tops and you multiply the bottoms and you get your final answer. So 1 times that bracket times 1 is just that bracket. And 2x squared times 1 is 2x squared. So how cool is this? That whole nasty question, those 3 horrific fractions, end up with just that nice little one over there at the end. Yeah, that's basically it, guys. I do want to show you one other thing. You don't have it on this coming worksheet, but it is in the next worksheet. So just hang on a sec. Okay, so let's say you're given just one fraction like that. Now be careful, it looks a bit like a butterfly fraction, but remember butterfly fractions is many terms over one term. That is not one term at the bottom there. Okay, so the way you deal with this is imagine it's being multiplied by 1, because that's what something by itself means. Eh? It's just that times 1. Okay, now whenever you multiply a fraction by a whole number, you need to remember to change that to 1 over 1. Okay, so that was the question by itself. The way we deal with it is imagine it's multiplied by 1 over 1. Okay, and now we're going to answer it the same way as we did the previous one. So step 1 is turn all of our fractions into one term over one term. So 2x squared plus x minus 6, no common factor, not difference of squares. This is actually a type B trinomial. That's going to be x minus 3, 2x plus 2. Let's quickly check. 2x minus 6x. No, other way around, sorry. 2 there, 3 there. Let's check now. Sorry, guys. Signs are wrong. That's the positive one, that's the negative one. Okay, so we'll factorize it like that. X plus 2, 2x minus 3. And at the bottom, well, oopsie, at the bottom, this is a difference of 2 squared. So we'll have 2x plus 2, 2x. Oh, sorry, 2x plus 3. The square root of 9 is 3. 2x minus 3, and then our last fraction was already one term over one term. Okay, and now we cross simplify just as we would normally. any top with any bottom, hey? So even though these are both 1s and they're not going to help me with the cross simplifying, I can cross simplify in the same fraction. So x plus 2, there's no x plus 2 at the bottom. 2x minus 3, there is 1. 2x plus 2, that's got to stay. So now if we were to write this more neatly, all my copies are running out, would have, oh my goodness, there we go, would have x plus 2 at the top, 2x plus 3 at the bottom times 1 over 1, which when we multiply that by 1 and that by 1, we're just left with x plus 2 over 2x plus 3. You're welcome to keep the brackets if you want to, but you don't need them. If it's the only thing at the top, then the brackets at the top and the bottom are pointless. Okay, so the whole point of this was just if you run into a single fraction, but it's not a butterfly fraction, which this is not, then you just imagine it's multiplied by 1 over 1 and you deal with it like a multiplication fraction. Okay, that is it. This is the last video you're going to be getting from me, probably, depending on whether everything goes according to plan. But, oh no, I'm talking absolute nonsense. Never mind, sorry, we must still do equations. Okay, this is definitely not the last time you have to listen to me. Sorry, guys. I will send you this worksheet, and then after that, you're going to do a worksheet where it's all mixed together, butterfly ones, plus and minus ones, and times divide ones. Okay, good luck. Let me know if you get stuck, please.